As you can see, someone has added a space shuttle mod to Microsoft Flight Sim. Now in this mod, you can just throttle up and take off from a normal runway, but we know the space shuttle didn't do that. These engines were not used on re-entry, or it didn't take off on a normal runway in the first place. But I wanted to try a re-entry mission type of thing since we don't actually have that in the sim. So we're gonna slew mode up here to 275,000 feet and then try to glide our way all the way back down to the shuttle landing facility, and let's just see what happens. Okay, so I have slew moded up to 275,000 feet. We have no airspeed because there's essentially no air up here. Now this plane would be going this glider would be going some insane speed on re-entry, which we cannot replicate because of everything. We're gonna turn the engines off though, ignore the A320 cockpit. So we're gonna stay in external view as much as possible. I already made sure control surfaces still work with no engine power, which is good for us, for our sake. If you can see, there is KTTS, the shuttle landing facility, and we're gonna use no navigation except this little screen over here to my left to try to do this. So my goal is to get down, and then we're gonna kind of do loops until we lose enough altitude to land. Hey, look, our airspeed is coming up a little bit. We're at 100 knots here. But for this first little bit of gliding, it's gonna be very quiet. We are alone in the upper atmosphere. Is this the upper atmosphere technically? I'm not sure. But engines off. Control surfaces still work, as you can see. Let's just get down here and see what happens. Like I said, A320 cockpit, so we're gonna stay in external view. The regular space shuttle cockpit is nuts. I'll put a picture up of it or something, but it is wild. Okay, we're actually coming in quite quick here. There's 1,500 knots at the moment at 60,000 feet. We may only have time. We may only have time to come out, loop, and come back in. I think that's the strategy. I do want to slow this descent down because we're descending at 30,000 feet per minute at the moment, and I want to kind of relax here a little bit. Will my landing be any good? Probably not. I think I'm going to try to land. We'll also make sure we have no fuel because it would have no fuel on re-entry. I will try to make my landing at around 200 knots. So here we are at 35,000 feet, and I'm glad I have clear weather because if not, I think I would be out of luck. We also have a speed brake, and we do have flaps as well. So this should be interesting. We need to get kind of far out here. So we're still at 27,000 feet and our descent rate is, you know, steadied out here. So I think, and we're 300 knots. I think we really need to kind of go out into the ocean before we begin this turn. Obviously our descent rate will probably increase some unless we want to trade some airspeed when we turn. And I would also rather be too high than too low, because obviously having no engines, there's not much room for air. We also have some fighter escorts. We have an F-22 over there, and whatever that was, an F-18 or something. F-15? F-18, yeah. I'm gonna start this turn soon, but I'm slightly nervous of being way too high because we're at 25,000 feet and not many miles away from the airport. How many miles is that? 10 maybe? So, I don't know. Timing is everything. Will I do well? Probably not, but we're gonna try it. We can try a slip as well. If we're really way too high, we can try a slip. Or if we're excessively high, we could do another loop around and see what happens. But I think if I get a little steeper here and then we maybe put the speed brake out, I think this won't be too bad. Again, there we are. Okay, so we're almost done with our turn here. And we are very high. So I think we get a little steeper. Speed brake out. Ooh, that speed brake really decreases our speed a lot. Negative 10,000 feet per minute. I think we're okay here, guys. I think we're actually okay. 350 knots. Okay, we're gonna go speed brake out a little bit. I really wish this had a modeled cockpit because we're gonna have to land in exterior mode or not. I turned on replay mode. Maybe we'll just watch it in replay. And then we'll put flaps out as we come down to it. I need to remember, I wanna land at around 200 knots is the goal. At the moment, we're at 280 knots, which I think is okay. I kinda wanna watch this whole descent in replay mode because I think we could get some cool angles out of this. Okay, 310 knots. We're still pretty high here, so I will go speed brake out. I might be able to go speed brake out the rest of the way. I don't want to deploy our landing gear until we get closer because that's a lot of drag for a plane that doesn't make a lot of lift and is relatively big and bulky and heavy. There's 230 knots. This is actually looking okay. I want to be steep here, like I was saying. If I nail this landing, I will be shocked. From 270,000 feet and only doing one turn. That's actually would be surprising for me, considering how much I suck at this flight sim. We could go from 275,000 feet and actually time it where I do one turn before we land and then get a decent landing. That would be as close to a miracle as anything that's ever happened to me in this simulator. Here we go though, we're coming in guys. 200 knots, we're going gear out now. Oh no, do we not? I checked earlier. No, I'm gonna die. No way our gear doesn't. Why is it just, I think I broke the plane. Y'all hear it? Because I checked earlier, the gear did come out with engines off. We're just gonna have to go for it. Here we go, guys. We're a little bit slow here, but I think we got it still. Come on. Oh no, we're gonna die. What? How'd that happen? Okay, we're out. Everything should be good. Engines back off. Try numero dos. We're not gonna glitch under the ground this time. I'm gonna keep our airspeed up. We're at 250 knots right now because we lost a lot of airspeed and therefore screwed up our landing before and maybe not put flaps out until the last second. I think that's what we need. I'm not afraid of airspeed. I am afraid of not enough airspeed. So give me excess airspeed if anything, and I'll try to make it work. This is second time is the charm. This one's it, folks. But we have like 40 more knots than we did last time. Here we go. Come on. This one's it, folks. This one is it. This one is it. Come on. Oh, bounce. Bounce. And our flap thing on the bottom definitely hit the ground. Nose gears, we're aero braking at the moment. Lots of aero braking. That's good. Come on, nose gear. Come down. Come down. There's nose gear, so we have more rudder control now. Our brakes do almost nothing because this is modeled off the A320, so I guess it's like acting like it has no engines or anything. Rudder back and forth. That's so, I wonder, does that rudder actually move like that in real life? That's crazy if it does. That wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been.